Because I always forget to introduce myself, I'm Seth Weber, and today we're here to talk a little bit about travel and packing and baggage. So today we're signing up for the first time for the Reshape process, and some people are wondering, well, what is this all about? Well, part of what we're trying to figure out is what type of a journey are we headed on as a church community. And I love travel. And if you ask my family, they may tell you that I actually love travel planning more than I like the travel itself, but that's a different issue for a different day. But one of the things, when we think about travel and we think about packing, it's really important to understand what kind of a journey we're going on. So I brought this, our trusty bag that we take on many trips. And it turns out that if you live in southern Maine and shop at Beans, that this bag will serve you pretty well when you get where you're going, but when you come back to Portland, it might be a little tough. So you need some kind of a nice tag to identify it. But this bag needs to be checked. Well, what if we're not checking a bag? What if we want to go on a different kind of trip? What if we want to go like backpacking? What are we going to have to bring and what are we going to have to leave behind? Because what fits in this bag for backpacking may not be quite the same. I'm probably not going to bring these big chairs that are up here if I'm going backpacking because I'm not going to want to carry them up the trail. Your mileage may differ. What if, like Steve Gordon and I, who used to spend way too much time traveling back and forth, there was a time when we both lived in Detroit, and about the only redeeming quality, sorry if you're from Detroit, was the fact that there was a direct flight from Detroit to Portland, so we could get home easily. Well, if that's happening, you don't want to waste your time in baggage claim. You just want to have a carry-on so you can fly right through. So you're going to edit down your stuff. Well, what if we're not going on that kind of a trip at all? What if we're going to go on a day hike? Now, if we go on a day hike, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're supposed to have, and I know this because I was a Boy Scout. So if we go on a day hike, you need to have some source of illumination, right? You need to have a headlamp with you. You need to have a compass to help you find your way. Can't rely on your phone. You may not have signal. You need to have some trusty tools that have served you well, so this is a multi-tool. First aid kit helps, right? Got to be prepared. Bug spray, sunscreen, some snacks, most importantly, a water bottle. So this is stuff that if we're going on a day hike is going to serve us really, really well. If you guys haven't traveled in a while through the airport, this is the stuff that will make TSA think that you have lost your absolute mind, right? So it's really important, layers, that we understand what kind of a journey we're going on. And like travel planning, if you haven't thought through what kind of a journey you're on, it's really hard to know how to pack and what to bring. More importantly, it's really hard to know what to leave behind. So one of the reasons why we're pushing for so much participation and for everybody to sign up is so that we really understand as a church community who all is coming on the journey with us, where are we headed, so that we can make sure not only do we have the right essentials, but that we're leaving some of the stuff that's not serving us quite so well behind. So that's the thought, that's the process. One of the things to think about is when we're thinking about a journey, was thinking about this on my way up here this morning because I saw a bunch of people out there running the marathon. Literally, God bless them. But if we're preparing for a journey to the outer islands, as a community getting together and figuring out how to build a better bicycle is not going to help us very much. And it's not going to serve us or the community very well. So thank you for listening to my ramble on packing. If you're interested in signing up, I've got some iPads. I'll be at the back later. And this is why we're in this process. We're trying to figure out what kind of trip we're headed on and where we're headed. So thank you.